Hello everyone in today's episode of Dark Psychology, where we learn new psychology trick. Isn't it strange how no one carries more stress than those who know their potential, but still live like they're worthless? It's not failure that breaks you. It's knowing exactly what you could do and choosing to do nothing. These people aren't confused. They've seen proof of their abilities. They know what they're capable of, but they wake up every day and waste it. The worst part, they're completely aware they're betraying themselves. They watch themselves make the wrong choice. Every time they see the opportunity, feel the fear and choose comfort. Every day is another betrayal of who they could be. The real pain isn't from failing. It's from never trying, from betraying your own potential. Day after day, you're living beneath who you're meant to be, and that knowledge eats at you more than any criticism ever could. Stop wasting what you were given. Start living like you believe in yourself. People who say sorry too often aren't just being polite. In psychology, this pattern is linked to the brain's fear circuits, especially the amygdala. When someone has lived through rejection or conflict, the nervous system learns to treat harmony as survival. Apologizing then becomes less about guilt and more about safety. It's a way of calming tension before it begins, a reflex to ensure no one turns against them. That's why sorry slips out even when nothing is their fault. A delayed reply, a crowded hallway, or simply existing in someone else's space. Over time, the brain wires this response as automatic. The nervous system holds on to the lesson. Peace must be protected at all costs. But here's the paradox behind over-apologizing is not weakness, but hyper-empathy. These people are deeply attuned to others' emotions. What they truly need is not to apologize less, but to feel safe enough to exist without constantly proving they belong. Because their presence alone is already enough. The people who wait so long to speak about their feelings, only to finally whisper, "I don't know," are often experiencing something called alexithymia, the difficulty in putting emotions into words. It's not that they feel nothing. It's that they feel too much without a map to explain it. Imagine carrying years of unspoken hurt, and then someone finally asks, "What's wrong? Your chest is heavy." Your mind is spinning, but when it's time to let it out, nothing fits into a sentence. "I don't know" slips out instead. Not because you're clueless, but because words feel too small for the weight you're holding.
Emotional apathy syndrome. People with this condition appear warm, cheerful, and easygoing on the surface. They often come across as optimistic and leave a positive impression. But deep down, they're profoundly detached and pessimistic. These individuals see right through things with remarkable clarity. They habitually imagine worst-case scenarios for everything, not out of negativity, but from a deeply ingrained habit of preparing for the worst. They don't obsess over anything in particular, or have anyone. They're especially fond of crowds, and social gatherings don't appeal to them. They're comfortable being alone, and actually prefer the peace of solitude. Now, when it comes to relationships, they're the first to help when friends are in trouble. Yet, they feel powerless when caught in their own spirals of overthinking. They rarely talk to family, whose paths no longer cross theirs. Not because they're deliberately cold, because they understand that most people are just passing through their lives anyway. As a result, they maintain a perfectly measured distance from everyone around them. Never too close, never deliberately distant. They understand social dynamics perfectly, and their gentle nature is beyond reproach. People often praise them for being considerate and empathetic. But beneath this kindness lies an unshakable sense of boundaries, along with the quiet detachment and loneliness that comes from seeing the world too clearly. One of the biggest challenges for overthinkers is that when they become deeply attached to someone, their entire mood can hinge on how that person responds to them. They are highly sensitive to other people's emotions, able to detect even the smallest changes in behavior. This is often tied to rejection sensitivity, a heightened fear of being dismissed, ignored, or misunderstood, especially by those they care about most. It's replaying a conversation from earlier, overanalyzing every pause, every shift in tone, not because they're dramatic, because their brain has learned to scan for signs that love is slipping away. Why do some people forget how badly they were treated as soon as that person starts being nice again? In psychology, this is known as Stockholm Syndrome, mind's way of gaslighting itself into thinking that they overreacted. It feels like all the pain vanishes the second there's a smile, a sweet message, or a small gesture of softness, almost as if none of it ever happened, until it does happen again. And suddenly the mind starts asking why it stayed, turning the blame inward for letting it repeat. Sometimes the memory strikes out of nowhere. Every detail comes back, and the frustration slips out in ways that make the person look like the problem. If you often feel bored and can't seem to get excited about anything, struggling to stick with things even when you force yourself, and constantly feel drained. This fatigue comes from within and can even keep you up at night. You find yourself questioning the meaning of life and sometimes wonder if you're depressed. Yet these feelings mysteriously come and go. According to psychology, this could indicate a melancholic temperament. People with this personality type are more prone to depressive moods than others. They might feel overwhelmed after too much social interaction, find going out exhausting, and prefer being alone at home. Growing up, your parents might have labeled you as not tough enough, or too much of a loner, thinking you overthink everything. Others may see you as difficult to connect with, so you push yourself to change, only to discover it doesn't work, and might even trigger real psychological issues. But here's the thing, people with melancholic temperaments have natural advantages. Their tendency toward introspection helps them grasp the essence of problems faster than others. They bring unique perspectives to work and studies. Throughout history, many artists have shared this melancholic trait. However, the biggest challenge for these individuals is damage from their family of origin. Even with natural talents, it becomes incredibly difficult to flourish under such circumstances.